In this fourth and final installment of Let's Go Hiking with Lowepro, Sonia and I will be taking our adventure to the southern islands that many people have been on picnics, but not many people have ventured beyond the safety of its shores. As a child, I've always enjoyed exploring storm drains and old scary buildings, thinking of myself as an action hero uncovering secrets of lost civilizations. On day one of our 2 days expedition, we hiked our way with two 55 liters bags through thick undergrowth to explore an abandoned mosque that nature has reclaimed. We came upon a room that was right out of a horror movie that made for a great photo shoot. It's amazing to witness the force of nature tearing into and flourishing in a built-up area. Part of me wanted to explore the place at night, but the other part went, nah. So we left before we got too dark to find our way out. It's important to open your eyes when you're hiking so that you can protect the delicate nature around you and enjoy its beauty. Which is why we do not recommend inexperienced hikers to go trudging and bashing around the forest on their own. Too often, ecosystems are destroyed without your realization. The evening sky was glorious, and it was a perfect time for an intertidal walk during the low tide. We saw many sea stars. This was the moment that separated the beginners from the professionals. I, of course, was tasked with the most important job of all, overseeing the entire process. Chichi made biryani, Manish slurped on his tasteless noodles, while I oversee Sonia whipping up a ramen meal with onsen egg chicken cutlet garnished with seaweed. The best thing to do after a full tummy is to go to sleep and get ready for an early night. But unfortunately, sleep wouldn't come, and we ended up staying up to exchange spooky, scary campfire stories, recalling the time we stayed over at St. John's during our school days. Somewhere between thinking about how I'm going to produce this video and daybreak, I fell asleep. Woke up to the sight of Singapore's iconic skyline on the horizon and the sizzling sound of breakfast. At this point, I was more impressed with how Sonia managed to pack all that in her Lowepro bag than her outfield culinary skills. This is our setup and our gear for this particular adventure. Usually we bring a lot more stuff with us, including a drone and all that, but considering the very tight space that we have today, we are limited by the equipment that we can use out there in the open. And here is the Lowepro Photo Sport 55 liter bag. This has so much compartment that it makes it such a breeze to pack my stuff, and more importantly, to take out the equipment that I need when I need it. It's not just a bag, it comes with this little compartment here that it can be removed from the bag and store your camera bits, which the camera goes in. See, you can even remove the parts and adjust the things around based on what you need. I can put all my chargers in here. This baby. There we go. Oh, what's inside? Very good support system here. Goes right in. And the rest of the stuff can go in. You can put your clothes. Pull the strap, you're good to go.
Now we're about to go up into a hike that's very undulating. It's an old service road that's gonna end up at the top of a hill, and then we'll go down. So it's undulating ground, it's up, down, and where we are headed is to an abandoned ammo dump. 2 ammo dumps, a shed, as well as a very old remand center. So let's go.
And here we go again, day 2 of our hike through Lazarus Island. If you're looking for a challenge, this would be it. The trek took us about a good 30 minutes before we came upon the first structure. There we took a short break and drank up. Our water supply was running low and it's important to ration our intake because there was not going to be any refill until we left the island. There aren't many places left to legally explore in Singapore, but if you're willing to attack the undulating terrain, brave the mosquitoes and get your shoes disgustingly wet in boggy waters, I would highly recommend a hike on Lesbos. There's enough sights to see for nature lovers, stories to regale for history buffs, and plenty of obstacles to traverse for an imaginative adventure.
One of the things we find, especially when we go hiking along the shoreline areas, is some of debris that get washed ashore. And you can see the number of plastic bottles just littered around the place. And as responsible hikers who love our world and care for the environment, what we do when we go on hikes is to bring with us garbage bags, which is very useful to clear our own rubbish, as well as do a little bit to help the environment when we come across situations like this. Third bag, and you can see very clearly we're nowhere near done. So this is a plea to all you hikers out there. If you're coming on an adventure, do what we do and perhaps you can really make the world a better place. Okay? Usually what happens is during a low tide, you can actually flank around the island and be relatively safe. But you can see right now the tide is very high. It's okay for me and Chichi, but for people who are particularly challenged, this may be too deep when you go up to like knee high. So Sonia and Manish, you guys will take dry land across the hill, and I'll see you at Tak Rostan Breakwater. Chichi and myself will take the coastal home.
Okay, Chichi?
Yes, give me a full thumb.
I would love it.
Hey, it's us again.
You have just watched the fourth and final installment of Let's Go Hike with Lowepro, brought to you by Cathay Photos and Lowepro, of course. My name is Eugene Tay,
And I'm Sonia.
and we just finished a 2-day, 1-night adventure at Southern Islands. This video was designed for you guys. If you want to follow in our footsteps and how we did it, the place to go to get your ferry to Southern Islands like St. John or Lazarus or any other islands around the area is to take a train down to
Marina South Pier. To get to our islands, we had a chartered boat with Marina South ferries. They have regular ferries that go down to the islands. You can check that online. It's inexpensive, great service, good boats.
and our bags were huge.
Well, it is a 55-liter bag, again packed to the brim. Now this time we were prepared for a 2-day, 1-night. Okay?
We got to tell everyone about Manish, our camera guy from Geekspulse.
Yes.
We informed him, bring your food, bring enough water, and he thought there was a mama shop over in St. John. There isn't, for any of you watching and you're intending to go to St. John Islands or Lazarus, there is absolutely no shops or vending machine for you to buy any drinks. The hike was extremely brutal. If you think that usually you can survive on 1 liter water, the hike that you have seen in the adventure, you need twice or 3 times as much, because we didn't take the easy way. We really went in by the hardest route we can find just to get that adventure. To be able to carry a 55-liter bag packed as if she was going for war on this small frame, because it has very good weight distribution.
Okay, yes. So the straps are adjustable to fit my torso, and I had a lot of good weight support around the hips as well as across the shoulders. So in terms of being an adventure bag, you know, when people talk about carrying a photography or a photographer's bag, you think of padded, you think of rigid, but so much R&D was put into this bag. The bag can float, for goodness sake.
My goodness.
I've been on overseas overnight trips where my bag is humongous. I'm not going to mention any names. However, I am able to make a comparison between my Lowepro 55-liter highly adjustable bag. The straps are adjustable, the height of the straps, the shoulder straps, as well as the snug fit of the hip strap.
The weight distribution is wonderful.
Unparalleled. Very comfortable, very spongy. Did I mention that our bags float? They're made of 75% recycled plastic. So that's amazing, the amount of R&D that went into this bag. Now you have to understand that even though Lowepro makes photographers' bags, right? We have this impression that photographers' bags are rigid and boxy. They're not meant for the rough and tough hiker or travel. But these bags were specifically designed with travel, hiking, and photography in mind into an adventure photography bag.
So if you're a hiker or a photographer/videographer, the Lowepro bag is something you want.
The adventure series is for you.